to talk on your platforms, but if they limit your reach, that barely anyone sees your work, then that's very effective, isn't it? And that's
it also causes has a damaging financial repercussions too.
Yeah.
Because I, as an author, the shadow banning, which is approaching 99% on TikTok, for instance.
Wow.
Well, that causes a proportional reduction in book sales.
Yeah. If we talk about that, so I want to ask two questions. So when bit of a rewind, what made you become a writer in the first place? When did you discover that you had a talent for writing?
It's what I was put here to do. And I remember a time in my 20s, I think, and I was just kind of staring out of the window and musing. And then in my mind's ear, I heard the phrase "man of letters."
Mm.
And it struck me, my heart responded to that, to say, oh, yes, that's what I'm here to do. I'm to be a man of letters. And when I was a boy at school and we get story assignments, my classmates clamored to have me read my story. They insisted that I read my story out. So I got asked to do that quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I guess in the last 10 years, I've been publishing books in a range of genres. There's been short fiction, non-fiction, memoir, poetry collections, epic poetry.
Yeah.
And the first one I published was called Obama's Dream, which is an epic poem. And that was before I realized what a Luciferian piece of shit he is.
Yeah. I'm guilty of that as well. When Obama was elected, I was very naive. It was, I can't remember. I must have been in my 30s or something like that. But I was sort of cheering up, yay, first black president. And then later on, if you look back, you think, oh my Lord, it was so naive to believe in precedents and that they would make a change, but anyway.
Yeah, that was his mantra when he was campaigning. I think it was 2007, was it? And it was all about change and turning the page and a new start, and just came up with all these.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Yeah. So he was basically thumbing through the thesaurus. Now, that was tricky to say, through the thesaurus. And I just to make the viewers aware, I'm going through a dental process at the moment, so I've had 2 front teeth removed. So it's going to be a while before the cosmetics are restored to that charming smile.
Yeah.
But so I've written in all these different genres, but in the last with COVID, it's mostly been non-fiction, some poetry, some short stories.
Yeah.
And using the non-fiction to tear down strongholds, to overthrow the pharaohs, to be inspired, especially by Moses and Elijah. So I've even written an epic poem titled Elijah. It's in 12 chapters, describing his life, his ministry, his miracles.
Yeah, just to interject, so for non-Christians, Elijah is one of the major prophets, and you made a beautiful quote in one of your books where, you kind of refer to, you need to be for the prophets and not for the kings,
Yeah, actually, maybe I can find that quote, because this was that the entire, so a quick précis.
Yeah.
So I've got a 4-book series, and it started
That's
with Know
it.
Your Medical Rights,
Yeah.
and Know Your Lawful Rights, and Know Your Financial Rights. And those
Yeah.
3 books are contained in this volume, Battle Manuals for Freedom.
Yeah.
And then Know Your Spiritual Rights. But the entire collection begins with this quote from Tony Benn, who was a British Member of Parliament. And I transcribed this from an interview he gave in 2006.
Yeah.
So he says, I was brought up by my mother on the Bible. Then she told me something that I've never forgotten. She said the stories in the Bible are stories about the conflict between the kings who have power and the prophets who preach righteousness. And she taught me to support the prophets and not the kings.
Yeah. Yes. And if I can hijack that quote, because how I see you as a modern day prophet who stands up for truth and calls out the wicked kings of these days, the Boris Johnsons, and what is it, Trump with his warp speed of what is it, the double, yeah, WHO, the United Nations, the Klaus Schwab. We can name a whole list, but they're all wicked men in high places, isn't it? And what I found interesting with your books, the battle manuals, for freedom, it's a call for all of us to come to truth and ideally to come to Christ, because if you realize the power and authority we have in Christ, and that's and knowing the truth about COVID is one thing, but doing something spiritual about it is another thing, isn't it? Maybe you can explain this a bit better to us.
Yeah, so I describe 2 types of authority.
Yeah.
And one is the logical authority that we all have, and this is encapsulated in the documentary Straw Man. Government is a creation of man.
Yeah.
And a creation of man can never be above man.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I am the author of this book.
Yeah.
If I want to change something in it, I am the creator of it. I have the authority to do so. The book doesn't have authority over me. But in addition to that logical authority, we have the spiritual authority that Jesus says, I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy.
Yeah.
So we need to take him at his word and to exercise that authority over the principalities and powers. And this is why I come back to Elijah, because when he exercised his authority, we have this phrase, speaking truth to power. You hear people use that phrase all the time, speaking truth to power. Most of the time, what they mean is speaking truth about power to each other. But Elijah spoke truth to power because he got up in King Ahab's face.
Yeah.
And he denounced him and told him that every one of your royal line is going to be slaughtered. And those who die in the country are going to be food for the crows. Those who die in the city are going to be food for the dogs. Jezebel herself, Ahab's queen, will be food for the dogs at Jezreel. So this is what I want to encourage brothers and sisters in Christ to embody, is that in your face authority that is exemplified by Elijah and Moses before him.
Yeah.